Hi, welcome to Soul Work with Shannon. I'm Shannon, and we're going to go through a short sequence for ankle rehabilitation. This is the practice part of the sequence. If you want to have more instruction, you can refer back to the first video where I'm more detail oriented in the whys and the hows, and this will be more just doing them and breathing so that there's more of an opportunity to relax and get greater benefit from it. So we'll begin with the active feet. So I'll extend the legs out and just begin spreading out through the toes and reaching through the four corners of the feet. Your quadriceps will be firm if you lift your heels, if possible, a tiny bit off the floor. And then relax them. You can repeat that as many times as you like. From here, we're going to stand and practice the active feet from a standing position. So bend your knees and sit back as if you were sitting into a chair. Brace your hands over the tops of the knees. Lift and spread through your toes. And bend the knees a little bit more, leaning forward into that mound of the big toe so you feel it strongly. And then rolling off to the side, towards the back, the opposite side, and then forward. Around in very small circular motions so that you're connecting deeply with the corners of the feet. And of course, rotating and going in the opposite direction. Again, when you feel the charge begin to build up and you need a rest, come out, stand, rest. You can shake the ankles out. The next one is doing hamstring lengthening with active feet in a strap. So come down onto your spine. Take your strap. We'll start with the left foot. So placing the mound of your left foot in the strap across towards the pinky side. Let the knee have softness. Extend the right leg or bend the right leg depending on your comfort. And then breathe. Continue spreading your toes as much as you can and pushing the mound of your big toe up into the strap. While you're working on your left foot in the strap, you can also be activating your right foot on the floor. Release your left foot out of the strap and then place the right one up there. Again, spreading through the toes, active foot. Meanwhile, keep working on spreading your foot, spreading the feet, active foot on the left. And then with your exhale, release out of the strap. Just set the strap to the side. Now extend both of your legs straight up in the air. Activate the feet and roll the ankles. Going in both directions. They can roll together and they can Go together in opposition. Just making it up, lots of rotation until you feel a good charge build up and you need a rest. Then set your feet on the floor so they're wide towards the mat and just let the knees rest against one another. And then we'll take the Supta Baddha Konasana. So bring the soles of your feet together so you're pressing four corners against four corners of the feet. You'll feel a little bit more of an opening and an awakening happening in through the inner thighs and the knees. So if you've had knee replacements and you have any kind of sensitivity in the knee, this will also help that. We're going to take the breath in. And as I exhale, I'm going to press the four corners of the feet together and roll the pubic bone back towards the navel, drawing the low back down towards the floor. Inhale, releasing the pelvis and letting the pubic bone roll forward. Then again, with your exhale, curl that pubic bone back towards the navel. Inhale, release it forward or rock it forward, and then repeat. Rocking back and forth on the pelvis. And then just come to a point where you rest. Bring the knees in, roll over onto your side, and come up to the tabletop position. We'll move into downward facing dog pose. Bring your hands, a whole hand print ahead of your shoulders. Turn the toes under and allow the knees to come up. We're going to practice range of motion in the ankles in the dog pose with some flexibility. So with your inhale, rolling up onto your tiptoes, and then exhale, try to lift your toes, if possible, off the mat. Spread them as you lower your heels down. There's as much movement through the foot as you can. Inhale to come up, and then exhale to lower. Then we're going to inhale and come up on the toes, and we're going to go to the side. So we're like as if you're going just from like the 1 o'clock to an 11 o'clock, if you're thinking going around and on the dial of the clock. So we're just rocking from side to side until it feels like you get further and further along. You might be able to come over to 9 o'clock and then to 3 o'clock. Just building very gradually and slowly per your comfort. To come out, we'll lower the knees down and we're going to take ourselves back into a child's pose, allowing your knees just to come apart per your comfort, because there's just all different kinds of angles, and letting your hips sink back towards your heels. You can stack your fists and rest your forehead on your fists, or you could put it on a block. And we'll just drop the breath into the sensations that we're experiencing. Like if you have tightness around a knee joint, and this can also be a really excellent ankle stretch. And so just gradually, as your body begins to unfold, that you let your hips just slowly come back towards your heels. And then with the inhale, we're going to come back up to tabletop position and come down onto the back for bridge pose. Separate your feet so that they're just a little greater than the hips width wide. Let the middle finger reach down towards the back of the heel. You don't want to feel your heel, so if you do, move your feet further away from your finger. Take the arms to the side. Tuck your shoulders underneath. And breathe into your chest. Activate your feet as you exhale. Curl the pubic bone back towards the navel. And begin to lift your pelvis up off the floor. Spreading through your toes, which is most important in this pose as you're recovering from surgery. So those active feet are going to move energy all the way from your waist down to your feet. And remember, you can roll around a little, those little movements if you have sensitivity on your knees. That's very common for people to get a little, hiccup in their knee joint. So you have to find it where you can clear it. Do several more breaths. Again, you want to build up a charge until you feel like you really can't hold it anymore in health. And then to come out, lower the hips down. Hug the knees into the chest. And I would recommend doing that pose, repeating it, and repeating anything on this video many times over. But in the bridge in particular, you could do it 2 to 3 times. So we'll just let the knees rest against each other for a moment and allowing ourselves to experience the more vibrancy and aliveness that's happening in through the feet and the legs. Allow yourself now to roll over onto your side and come up to a seated position. We'll grab our knee prop. Mine's a blanket. You might have pillows or a bolster at home. Whatever it is, if it's square little pillows, grab 2 of them. I'm just going to roll this blanket up. You want to have that prop be at least the span of your yoga mat. And lay back onto your spine and let your knees rest onto your prop. Tuck your shoulders underneath. Rock back and forth, wiggle around until you're comfortable. And then let the eyes go soft or closed. Feel into your lower half. Feel the aliveness, the tingling, and the vibrancy flowing up through your feet into your ankles, through your lower legs, your upper legs, and your belly. Good job. Now repeat it several more times until you really feel your ankle come alive and get stronger, and you walk for miles and miles on your feet. Namaste. Cut.